We recently got confirmation that Slayer is coming May 10th. May update will be May 10th. Thank you, Rox, for giving us this info. Now, that's not that much time to prepare, but I'm going to give you 5 ways to prepare very quickly over the next 2 weeks. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now, we know we're getting a progression event for Slayer, which is freaking awesome. Keeping my fingers crossed for a progression event that is farther than 1445, maybe 1460. But worst case scenario, we're getting one to 1445. From 1445 to 1490, these are the materials that you will need. This brings me to my first point, is that you need to be hoarding all of these materials from all of your alts to donate to your Slayer. If you're trying to hone as much as possible those first couple weeks, this is what you need to do. Just start hoarding all the materials, all the event mats as well. Start saving them. Shards are usually one of the things that holds you back, especially with a new character. Go do your chaos dungeons and do the maps. You get shard drops from those treasure maps, so make sure and go and do them. Go ahead and buy your level 7 damage gems, because level 7 gems are super low right now. They are below 10k, as you can see, for damage gems. So I went ahead and bought 5 of them because I plan on playing the spec build, and you only need 5 damage gems for that build. I will casually work on the cooldown gems, but I know that I'm definitely gonna want to pump as much damage as possible. So I went ahead and bought the damage gems ahead of time, but I'm already working on fusing enough gems to get the cooldown gems too, because you will get level 5 gems by default from the progression event. Which brings me to my next tip, is that if you already know which build you want to do, you can go ahead and buy your accessories early and then give them to her once she arrives on May 10th. My next massive tip, which is going to save you a ton of gold, come over here to the Legion Commander Exchange and buy these honing books. You're going to need them. Yes, the progression event gives you some, but these are easy peasy weekly roster limit. Okay, you can buy these every single week. So even if you're not wanting to build a Slayer, you can use these for Aeromancer maybe, or another class that you want to build later. So just stock up on these. Make sure that you're doing this each and every week. This is going to save you a lot of gold and a lot of time and a lot of mats by having these books available, so you can hone as quickly as possible. And my next tip, and this is possibly the biggest one that's going to make you the most amount of gold in this entire process as well, even if you're not making a Slayer, is to make a chart like this for yourself. That way you know what materials you're lacking on, so that you can go to the market and buy those materials. And the reason I say buy them now is because they are low right now. The fusion materials are at 15. That's the lowest that they've been in the last 5 days, and they have been dropping huge. It's actually cheaper to buy them at 15 right now than it is to buy the materials and make them in your stronghold. So I bought enough to get me through the whole process of going from 1445 to 1490. Any that I don't use, I'm just gonna sell back in that first week or two, and these prices are going to go way up. So you have a big potential to make a lot of gold, because these have gone as high as 25 or 30 in NA East. So you could potentially sell them for double than what you bought them. And that is a really good gold making opportunity, as well as these great honor leaf stones. Now, it would have been good to buy them at 17, but I went ahead and bought them at 20 to 21. They're now up to 23, and I bought about 1,400 of them because that's what I need. And if I don't use all of them, then that's great. I'm gonna sell them all back on that first week or so when they are super, super high, because they are gonna go up whenever everyone is trying to hone their Slayer and they need to buy these last minute. Don't let that be you. But if you have a good amount of gold to invest, go ahead and invest in these 2 materials, because these 2 materials are going to go up, up, up on the first week, especially of people honing their new characters. Because it's not just people making Slayers. They might decide that they want to make an artist, or they might decide that they want to make a new character, and they're going to want to be buying these materials. Another thing you could be buying is the Marvelous Honor Leaf Stones if you're planning ahead for your Belshazzar gear. Same thing with the Superior Areha Fusion materials. I definitely went ahead and bought about 1,300 of these, because I'm going to need them for my Slayer anyways, but they're cheap. It's about the same price or a little bit cheaper, depending on what material you're using, to buy them from this instead of making them in your stronghold. So really capitalize on these materials, because even if you don't use them and you're trying to juice at least to 1490, you are going to be able to sell all the ones that you didn't use and make a lot of gold from it. As you can see, I am trying to juice my Slayer as much as possible, but guys, I want to hear from you. What are you planning to do for your Slayer if you're even going to make one? Which class engraving are you thinking about running? They both look really fun, but I want to know from you what y'all's plans are and how much you're trying to juice your Slayer week 1 of release. Make sure and leave a like on this video if any of these tips helped you out, and consider subscribing to the channel. We have broken way past 2,000 subscribers now, and we are on the way to 2,500, which was my goal for the end of the year. But guys, we're going to crush through that as well. I know that we can with your help. So if you like Lost Ark and you're hyped for the Slayer release, then subscribe to the channel, and I'm going to see you on the next video.